the Villains Media Network. Now introducing your hosts, Jay Johnson's Towboy Cody Slovinsky, Vandy Chris Keenhold, and Mr. Cheesy himself, Randy Jowers. Let's start the show, boys!
All right, welcome into the Golden Broom Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Slavinsky, joined by Vandy Chris, and our special guest tonight, Connor Cantillo. How are you doing this evening, my friend?
I'm doing good. It's a pleasure you guys have me.
Absolutely. So, what you got, Chris? I can already see it.
That sounded like you were on speed dial the way you were talking. You were talking so fast. I'm like, dude, what's going on?
I'm hyped. I don't know why. I've been in a really good mood the last few days. I'm still feeling it. I guess it's probably from the LSU Tennessee series over the weekend. Fun series we can talk about later, but we're going to get a good interview going. So, Connor, first of all, tell us a little about yourself, where you play, and just kind of give everybody watching just a little bit of idea of who you are.
So I play at Dyersburg State Community College. I'm from Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm a pitcher, an outfielder, and I play a little bit of first.
Nice. So Port St. Lucie has a lot of famous baseball players, athletes, all that. So I know Rick Ankiel is probably one of the more famous people from the area. Let's see, you played Jensen Beach High School, correct?
Yes, but my freshman and sophomore year, I went to Port St. Lucie High School, where Rick Ankiel went.
I got you. So at Jensen Beach, though, y'all had Lyon Richardson, who pitches for the Reds, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm,
so did you ever get to meet him by chance?
Actually, yes, I have. My junior year, he showed up and he just threw a little bit and, just talked to us a little bit about, what it takes and all the things that he did to, get to that level.
I gotcha. So your first year at Dyersburg, I know you told me that you're redshirting this year. So stepping on campus, seeing how the operations work, obviously going to JUCO, it's a grind. It's totally different than the D1, NAIAs, all those levels. What have you learned this year that's different from what you experienced throughout high school?
I feel like that it's a totally different level of play, I feel like, that, at first. And then, like you said, it's a grind, it's a lot of hard work you have to put in. These guys, everybody's grinding for a position every single day. You know what I mean? And, we all work our tails off, on and off the field, working out and everything. And like, it's a grind. That's how I really see it. You don't have like the best of things, but that's what you got to make best of.
Absolutely. So when you went to Dyersburg, did you know instantly that you were going to redshirt, or what kind of led into that decision?
No, first time on campus, we got there in the whole fall, we practiced, played it out. I was, in the fall, we played a decent amount of games here and there. Didn't get much of an opportunity. We threw a little bit in lives here and there. And then I was all, good. And then we get to the spring, we throw a few lives. Then we had 2 lives before a big preseason we had in Panama. And so I go in those lives. I pitch 2 innings. Every pitcher, each live through 1 inning. So I came out of those 2 innings with 23 pitches in total. And, I felt good about myself. And then we start playing out through the season, going. And I was like, we get to about middle of the season now, and I wasn't playing at all. So I just, went to my coach and I said, I'm not playing, much. I just want to do what's best for me. And I asked for the red shirt. And he was like, that's, it's your future, what you want. And he gave it to me, which I respect.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I got to ask you, Dyersburg State.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they play in the Tennessee Junior College Athletic Association, TJCAA. There's some really good teams in there, like Walter State. What's it like being at a place like Dyersburg State that has really struggled this year? What's it like for you personally having to sit back as a redshirt and watch that happen?
I mean, sitting there watching it, yeah, we struggled, but I feel like, there's games that, you know, we definitely could have easily won. It's just a few hits here and there. But like you said, sitting back, I wish I was out in that field because there's some games where I wanted to go in and shut the door down and pitch and go out there and play the outfield and hit here and. But yeah, I mean, I gotta support them either way. Like always, be a good teammate.
Right. Doesn't change your mind at all about where you want to be at next year, right?
Yes, sir.
That's good to hear. You're committed to the school. That's what we love to hear.
Absolutely. So let me ask you though. So I know on Perfect Game you're rated a 9, and that's not an easy rating to get because I mean, when you're rated a 9, that means that there's something there. And I mean, you look at some guys that have come through college over the years that have made it to the pros, they're only ranked like a 7.5 to an 8. So I mean, a 9 is good. So that leads me to ask, what other schools were looking at you throughout high school?
Well, around my sophomore, junior year, I had a few mid-major D1s look at me, and then I had a good amount of JUCOs from all over. And then it was one day I just got a call from our old assistant coach, Coach Dusty, and he was like, explaining to me everything. I loved what I heard, everything, and had a coach with Coach White, which was our head coach, and then I just committed. I thought, I was like, I like everything I hear, and I'm going to go for it.
I gotcha.
Okay. So with the Diego Pavia ruling where the junior college years don't count against you right now, do you feel that benefits your career looking forward to maybe playing D1 baseball in the future?
Yes, sir, definitely, because you could see those 2 years as, to work on yourself. Work on yourself and really grind and get that college experience. And, after those 2 years, you go off, play at a 4-year and see where it goes on from there.
That's good. So I like to have some fun sometimes when we do these interviews. So do you live by yourself or do you have a roommate?
I live by myself.
Okay. So me and Cody are coming over for supper. What are you cooking for us?
I'd probably go with, I'm a good burger. Good burger.
Okay. All right, be there in 10.
Something to fill you up easily.
There you go. I like it.
Okay.
So I got to ask you, one thing I know that you've hit, and this is amazing, is your outfield throwing velocity hit triple digits.
Yes, sir.
Look, everybody wants that to happen. How did it feel? Like, gloat for a minute. This is a moment to gloat because I know it felt good.
Yeah, definitely. The first time I've ever thrown 100, which was a few months ago, almost about a year ago, actually. And when I saw it popped up on the radar, I was like astonished. So then, then it just kept climbing. And then a few weeks ago, I pulled down. It was hot. UV, I think, was at 9. It was about upper 80s outside. And I threw it, and I even got like a little lightheaded. And I was like, and then I heard the radar because it reads out after you throw it, and it was like 104. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's crazy.
Okay.
Wow. So what's your fastest pitch you've gotten off the mound?
96.
That's good. That really is.
Thank you.
So what is your pitch arsenal right now?
I work with a fastball, a 2-seam, a splitter, a slider, and a knuckle curve.
Ooh, I love the knuckle curve. That knuckle curve is probably one of my favorite pitches.
Yes,
mainly because I could
never
never
good
hit it.
time to learn. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't think Cody caught that. He's got a 5-pitch selection there.
I mean, that's unheard of. But
yeah.
Yeah, but you watch his videos too. I mean, like, I see you grind every day. And
yes, sir.
It's to get better and better. And obviously at the JUCO level, you get, you have better equipment to use and I mean, so it makes sense. So I guess with you working the way that you've been working, and not have to necessarily prepare for the game while you're redshirt. Like, what kind of personal growth have you experienced over this last year?
I'd definitely say I've met my first off weight goal, and of course in the gym, and then like you guys said, the velocity and strike percentage and all that. But yeah, I mean, I every single day I grind. I ask some of my teammates, they come out, they can grind with me, and if they don't, then but every day, rain, I go inside, train every time. When it was snowing, went inside, trained.
Okay. So, as a hitter, are you more launch angle or time in the zone to be a contact hitter?
I'll say I'm in a mix in between both. I try to drive the ball, and if it goes, it goes.
Okay.
But say go watch some of his hitting clips. Like, I'm serious.
I'm
Like,
gonna have to.
dude, like you have a good swing is basically what I'm leading to on that.
Thank you.
So, I mean, looking ahead, have you heard about any like summer destinations for yourself or anything like that?
I've gotten a good amount of summer team offers, and I've been looking at them, and just checking everything out, and just still looking. Really.
I got you. Like, do you have like any like region that you would like to go play in?
Of course, around the southern
Sure.
region.
I got you.
So, the southern region, there's a summer league in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Kid named Riker White went through there last year, stole all the bases. When you've got a guy that runs like that, you as a pitcher, have you caught yourself having anything that would tip a runner off that it's a good time for them to go, or are you very intentional about that to not give any tips?
Well, actually, I used to kind of have like a habit of just checking once and then going, or like checking twice. Like I do the same thing in one game and then kind of try to switch it up. But now I change up my looks every single time I look. Every single time's different. If it's a pause or with the pitch clock, you'd be careful. But if you're sitting there for a little bit, or one look back, two looks, just try to change it up more.
Okay.
Gotcha. Well,
so
Chris, I bet I know you got something up that sleeve.
Oh, I've got questions, right? If you're offered to go to the Northeast instead of the South, would you take that opportunity?
Yes, sir. If the opportunity I think is something I like, then definitely.
Okay. And
So, well, hold on. Let me ask further on that. Have you like seen like what kind of dates like the summer leagues would start for you to when you would need to report?
Well, most of them is May 31st, around
Okay.
like the last week in May. Yes, sir.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, because I know some of the leagues like they'll start like in the next like couple weeks, and and like a lot of the kids that have not played much, they go ahead and head on when they they're on the postseason roster or whatever. So yeah, I didn't know how that was going to work, but that'd be a very good experience for you right there. All right, go ahead, Chris.
Okay. So this is a question I ask everybody that comes on our show. It's 1:30 in the morning. You're on that long bus ride home from a terrible game where you've given up 7 home runs, 8 walks, and just got pummeled. Worst performance of your life. It's dark 30 in the morning. Like I said, it's 1:30. You're on this bus, and you got another 3 hours before you get home.
Mm.
Who is the one person in your phone currently that you're going to call to get your head back straight, to get you out of the mind frame that you want to quit now?
I'd probably say one of my parents. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, usually if I have a bad outing or bad hitting, usually I give myself around 30 minutes to an hour by myself, clear my head out, and then once it's done, it's done. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a good mindset.
That's not to say that you're ever going to do that.
No, yeah.
I hope not.
It's a question I like to present to see what your frame of mind is. So,
Yes, definitely.
So to kind of piggyback off that question as well, what's some like adversity that you faced throughout like your baseball career?
I've had my fair share of, people commenting on Twitter, people commenting on Instagram, people while I played, chirped me. I just kind of go, people are going to say what they want to say your whole life. So, worry about yourself, keep that tunnel vision and just keep grinding really,
Gotcha. So when you were playing on the circuits and all that, who do you have anyone that's in your arsenal that you struck out that's a big name and you're like, yep, got that guy?
I mean, I've struck out a good amount of D1 guys before, like guys I've gone to Dayton, USF, freshmen this year, but no one really, as like that are like in the major leagues right now, really.
Sure, I gotcha. So who's your college team that you would root for?
Ole Miss. I've always been
Wow.
a big.
stop it. Stop
Did
it.
not expect that. I
I'm
was
sorry.
expecting Florida.
Ever since I was a kid with Errol Robinson and all those guys, and I love their field, everything. I love Ole Miss. That's just
I respect it. I like Mike Bianco. I can't hate on that at all.
it's hard being in Tennessee over here with all these Tennessee fans, but
I'm telling you, man.
I might have to go to the doctor, Cody. He just stabbed me right in the heart after what just happened this weekend. Oh my God.
I mean, as long as he didn't say Vanderbilt, I think I'm good.
Hey.
But no, that's actually cool. So let me ask then, have you ever been to like the SEC tournament, or did you ever come and play in any of the perfect game circuits up here in Hoover?
no.
Okay, because I know
I played
they do like 2 showcases a year, I think, up here.
Yeah, I played in East Cobb, Georgia. I played down in
Okay.
Palm Beach at the WWBA, the real big one.
Yeah,
Mostly down in Florida, really, and then the East Cobb, of course, in Georgia.
I gotcha. Did you ever do any of the autograph signings, like on the cards or anything for Perfect Game or anything like that?
No, sir.
I gotcha. Yeah, because I used to collect the mess out of those cards. I was about to go on eBay and buy one of your cards after the show, basically. What I was gonna say. But no, that's cool. So what kind of advice would you give to a kid who, let's say they're like 7th, 8th grade right now, and they're like, I think I'm good, but I don't know if this is for me. Like, what kind of advice do you give someone in that situation?
Well, around that time, have fun. You know what I mean? Because around that time, you're going to start after 7th, 8th grade. You went through freshman year. You're going to start getting to the gym. At that time, I say have fun, practice. At the end of the day, it's a game. Have fun. You practice. Play with your friends. Don't make it something that you're not going to like when you're only 7th, 8th grade. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then once
Absolutely.
you get, your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, then you take it, of course, more serious because you're trying to get to a college. But around that time, you just have fun, practice. Don't make it something you hate that early.
Sure, absolutely. So at what point in your career did you realize, you know what, college is the goal with this?
Well, my whole life, of course, I wanted to get drafted out of high school. And,
Sure.
once I was going, around that, like I said, freshman year, that's when I was like, I'm going to college regardless. Whatever happens, I'm going to college. I'll work my tail off till I can't walk no more, but I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to college either way.
I like
So-
it. I like it.
In high school, did you play any other sports in baseball, or were you singularly focused on that? Tell us about that.
I was singularly focused on baseball, but my sophomore year, I was going to play football, but then my coach was kind of like, no, don't do that.
To me, you look like the size of somebody that might play wide receiver, defensive end, defensive back, or something. Is that what you were looking at doing if you had played?
Yeah, I was looking to be a wide receiver because one of my friends was a quarterback, and then he just kind of threw a football around always. So I used to just run routes with him and work on all that.
So
Gotcha,
do you ever
gotcha.
get it? You ever get into any pickup basketball games?
Oh, all the time. I try my best. I'm a little shaky at basketball, but I try my best.
Do you dunk on people?
No.
Man, that's
I had
risky.
to ask. Had to
Yeah,
ask,
be
right?
careful. I've seen too many people come down with like broken ankles, so
Yeah, that's pretty much what ended my baseball career. I tore my ACL playing basketball in my driveway by myself. So
Mm.
it was a shame, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So, what other sports are you a fan of?
I'm actually a big fan of UFC.
Okay, okay.
Me and my dad watch all the time. Not really much into basketball, a little bit into football here and there, but that's about it.
I gotcha. So, fun fact with UFC, actually, that's where I started with media. Was covering the UFC back in the day,
Oh
and
wow.
I worked in Vegas, Atlanta, all that. Got to film John Jones do a private workout. Got to
Great.
interview George St. Pierre, all that. Like time of my life. Paid terrible money, but time of my life to say the least. Those early 20s, I couldn't complain. But yeah, I absolutely love the sport. So much fun. Those dudes
Yeah,
grind, that's for sure.
yeah.
So I got to ask. The topic of the day is NIL. I know there's not a lot of money around JUCO baseball,
Mhm.
but are there any establishments in the Dyersburg area that have come to you and said, "Hey, will you do some advertising for us?"
No, not as now, but I'm starting to look towards that kind of.
Okay.
Well, hey, share your info right here. And I mean, hey, people will see it.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be good.
yeah. And honestly, hey, when you do someone, please, by all means, let us know. We'll push the crap out of it for you.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Because we're gonna follow your career. You took time to be on our show. We want to follow everything you do now,
Oh,
and
yes, sir, definitely.
we definitely want to have you back on, especially after summer ball and all that. Kind of see where
Yeah.
you're at. So
You know, as luck would have it, I may know somebody in the Dyersburg area that was a former college athlete, so may have to reach out and get him in touch with you.
That'd be perfect.
who is it?
My grandson's father.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, he's from Dyersburg.
gotcha. That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, small world, small world. Well, Connor, man, I want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's
Yeah,
been
definitely.
absolutely awesome to have you. We would like to have you on again for sure in the future,
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
we'll definitely, man. Like I'm gonna start retweeting the crap out of your stuff because I mean,
Thank
dude,
you.
it's just it's cool to watch. I like to see players show what they're doing when they're not in a game situation. Like I like to see the behind the scenes. It's fun to
Yes, sir, definitely.
watch. So definitely, please keep doing what you're doing, man. It's awesome content. It really is.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate
For
that.
sure.
One of the things that came out with the right before the draft is Cam Ward was playing Fortnite. Do you have any video games that you play?
Yes, that's if I'm not in the gym or on the field or hanging out with my friends, I do. Yes, I do play video games. I play MLB The Show a lot.
Okay.
Same. I got the new one just for the college feature. I was
Yep,
let down
yep.
though by it. Were you let down a
Yeah,
little bit by the college feature?
yeah. I thought it was gonna be like how college football is with all the college teams. I was
hmm
a little let down, but it was cool. It was cool.
I mean, it's nice to play a few games, but it's like it's a
Yeah.
blink and you're already in the pros. It's like, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Well, hey, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll definitely be in touch. Best of
Yep.
luck this summer, and have a good night, man.
You too. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Connor.
All right,
All
y'all
right,
have a
later.
good night.
All right, you too.
Later.
All right. Well, that was Connor Cantillo. He was awesome.
96.
Yeah, dude. Look, all right. So his
Hey.
Twitter is at Cantillo Connor. Please go check it out if you're watching because he puts in the work. He really does.
I
Look,
can tell
you
you,
don't.
Vanderbilt currently has one pitcher that's throwing 96.
So here's the thing too about his 96. It's not that he's just throwing 96. It's accurate. Like it's
Swing and
over
miss
the plate
stuff.
every time. Yes, he's got so much movement. So much movement. Oh, hey, I'm just not looking at the comments. TriStar is calling you out. I totally have not looked at any comments
Hey.
tonight.
To be fair, the questions TriStar was asking, you were asking, whether you were reading his comments or not, you were asking him those questions.
Was I really? Oh,
Who's
didn't even-
he higher? Who's he higher on, Tennessee or Vanderbilt? You asked him who his favorite team was.
it's true.
You asked him about his
hey,
pitches.
Chris
He
Joseph.
asked about a forkball, and you asked him about his pitches. Oh, we weren't going to share all the other stuff about Oxford and whatnot.
Yeah, we can't do that.
To be fair,
hey,
we were asking him what was being said in the chat.
exactly. So, hey, Chris Joseph's in the comments. Chris Joseph, my brother. I really hope Skip Johnson doesn't leave you guys. But as I already told you, I don't think they will. That being said, Chris
got a
Joseph,
buyout.
my friend, we need an appearance from you on this show soon to talk some OU baseball heading into the postseason. Because we just need some Oklahoma content on here. We don't have enough of it. And they're fantastic. Kyson Witherspoon is one of the absolute best pitchers in the country, and he probably has one of the higher ceilings of all the pitchers. So it's one I like to talk about because I think he's just fantastic. But that being said, Chris, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Man. So, Chris, let me ask you first of all, before I even read a single ranking on this list, what were your thoughts over the weekend of the games that were played?
To be honest, I expected to lose a series at Ole Miss.
Oh,
just because
we had already talked about that too.
Just because they were coming off the loss to South Carolina,
we
were coming off the emotional high of beating Georgia. I expected the letdown and for Ole Miss to be amped up. That said, I was proud of the response on Sunday. That's what you have to do.
Absolutely.
You have to respond.
Yeah, because, I mean, with you guys not having Sawyer Hawks this weekend, that was a difference maker. That was actually the sole reason that I picked against Vanderbilt. Because without him, and that's no hate or anything, but, I mean, come on. And, I mean, after you beat Georgia, then have to go instantly on the road to Ole Miss, that's not an easy place to go play. I don't care if Ole Miss is good or bad.
Right.
That's a hard place to play regardless.
Always
but
hard to
unfortunately, Ole Miss is very good this year. They really are. And that's something that you and I talked about a few weeks ago in the chat, is that the way Ole Miss's schedule is set up, they're in a very good position to potentially host. And, I mean, sitting at a 23 and a third, good Lord. The differences in these rankings are a little embarrassing.
So, for us, D1's got us at 15. Baseball America's got us at 14. The interesting part about that is D1's got Vanderbilt as a national seed because of their RPI, which is number 3 in the country right now, and their strength of schedule is number 1.
Yes, I mean, you guys have played so many good teams this year, and a game, one of them that looked like a very bad loss to UConn ended up not being a bad loss because UConn is on freaking fire right now. Yes. They are, and that's the one thing too. I mean, because you never know what's going to happen. Xavier, they're on a roll right now. They're looking hot right now. Actually, they're looking very good. But no, these rankings, they make sense. So Kendall Rogers actually explained why the rankings were the way they were. So Clemson, the reason they're still at 3 and only dropped 1 spot is because they had been hot. Then they got caught. Tennessee, on the other hand, they've lost multiple series in a row now. That's what, 3 in a row?
3 out of 4.
Or 3 out of 4. Okay, so mean, there you go. And I mean, and that's no hate to Tennessee. I mean, they got beat. Simple as that. I mean, it is what it is. NC State going to number 13 in D1 and number 18 in Baseball America. I think 13 is too high.
Time out. Don't talk about that yet.
I'm just saying it though. I personally thought that was too high though when I saw the ranking. I don't like when a team's unranked and then shoots up to like top 15 instantly for one series. Look, I know they're on a streak right now, or they were on a streak, and But I mean, let's just be real though. I mean, you can't put a team that high in the rankings because people say they don't look at rankings when they play on teams. Don't lie. They can't lie. They see it. If they get on Twitter, they're going to see where they're ranked. They're going to know it. Their school is going to post it. Something like that's going to happen. Everybody's going to know where you're ranked. And you can think in your head, oh, that doesn't bother me. It messes with everybody. I don't care if you're the best player in the world. Your team ranking matters if you're a team player. Because you want your team to be ranked well. But I felt like that ranking was a little much. That being said, when the hell is Alabama going to be like removed from rankings? Can we just why are they keep getting put in?
When they stop run ruling teams like Missouri and running up their record against bad teams.
Yeah. And I hate to say that about Alabama too, because they have talent. They are a very good team. But man, they're just it's like everybody is here. They're still just here. They just can't get to that next level.
Which reminds me of another team that's not ranked in either one of these polls.
Who dat?
Piling up a record in the SEC against bad teams.
Who?
Florida.
Florida ain't even close to being ranked right now. Come on now.
In the D1, they're number 27.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, winning 8 of 10 or whatever. I mean, that's great. It is, but it's when you start 1-11. I'm sorry, that's not. I personally, I couldn't rank them. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're not beating the elite right now. But I mean, I wouldn't have them ranked. I wouldn't have them ranked right now. There's no way. Now that being said, the next 3 weeks for them, they can get into the top 25 with that schedule. If they win the Texas series, I mean, they're not going to. But if they were to,
do you really think they're going to go into Texas and win a single game?
Yes, actually.
I don't.
They're going to win the game 3 of that series. I really think that's going to become Texas's Achilles heel right there. And the only reason I say that is because I watched that game and on Sunday for them, and it was not, or Saturday, whatever day they played their third game of their series. You could see the difference in that with that rotation being interrupted like that.
But remember who they played.
Yes, a team that's literally just like Florida.
The most talented team in the country, bar none. You got to admit, Texas A&M is the most talented. Whether they put it together or not is another story. They clearly have the most talent.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue that because, I mean, obviously preseason number 1, tons of good players. Hold on one second. My headphone was giving me an issue. Ow. What was that? It felt like something stabbed me in my ear, and that did not feel good. But no, I mean, I think A&M is. I mean, I think they're extremely talented. I think they could be the best in the nation, but I don't know. I will say I am proud of them getting over that learning hump.
If Texas A&M ends up in the NCAA tournament, all bets are off on them going to Omaha because they have the talent to do it.
Sure, absolutely, and I mean, hey, this weekend will be a fun series. I mean, they have LSU at home. That's not an easy place to go play.
Nope.
I'm not getting my hopes up.
So let's talk about the Big Ten a little bit.
Before we do, to answer Chris Joseph, we definitely meeting up in Hoover, my friend. There ain't no question about it. I will be there.
Cody will be there.
Number 30 for me. Let's go. I need to get a shirt made, by the way, for that. Number 30.
So I've seen a lot of conversation about Iowa. What's it going to take for them to get ranked?
They're going to have to beat more teams that have a better RPI and not lose the midweek games because that's going to hurt them in the long run, unfortunately. And it didn't help the fact that, they had a not so good start to the season, and their schedule is just, unfortunately, it's not tough. Let's be real. Like, of the teams in the top 25, West Virginia probably has an easier schedule than them, I'd say. But their win-loss record's phenomenal. So that's why they're ranked. But even Kendall, like with West Virginia, he even straight up told a fan, beat a team with a pulse and you'll be ranked. That was his exact words to a fan.
Okay. They swept Indiana this weekend, who is a preseason
struggling hard is what they're doing right now.
Okay. They were still picked preseason to finish in the top 3 of the Big Ten.
Okay. Preseason projections mean nothing in terms of RPI, though.
Fair.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to answer your question in a proper way.
And if you look at it, they're going to win the Big Ten regular season.
Probably
and
so.
You got two teams in the same Big Ten. They're going to finish behind them that are both ranked in the top 16.
All right, so hey, I need you to do me a favor.
The same teams.
All right, do me a favor. Pull up D1 rankings on your computer real quick. And I want you to tell me the worst record of a team that's ranked.
Not showing me their records.
So here then, I'll say this. Okay. Against Q1 teams, Iowa's 3-0, Q2 7-4, Q3 8-3, Q4 11-6. That 11-6 hurts. Their RPI is sitting at 70. Strength of schedule is 179. Non-conference strength of schedule is 269. That's bad, and it's not their fault though. Let's see. They started out the season or on the road, South Florida. South Florida has an RPI of 92. They lose 2 of 3. Let's go to what they've done recently, though, because I think recent stuff is what really matters. Okay. So they lost today 6-5 in 10 innings to RPI number 132, Illinois State, who is 21-21. All right. They sweep number 86 in the RPI, Indiana. They win against 88 St. Thomas, lose to number 210 Western Illinois. That hurts. Sweep Michigan. That's a good sweep. RPI 54 for Michigan. They're 27-17. I feel like they're a better team than what their record shows because honestly, Michigan was our first Golden Broom winner this year. They acknowledged our Golden Broom award. Like, it was legit. Like, it was awesome to see. They beat Bradley, 252 RPI. They won 2 of 3 against number 69 Nebraska. 2 of 3 against number 134 Northwestern. Sweep Minnesota, who's 97. Oh, they've lost 2 to Illinois State. Didn't realize that. Swept Ohio State, but Ohio State is 11-30, by the way. After everybody thought Ohio State was going to end up being solid this year, they are not, unfortunately. Ohio State's RPI, by the way, is 218. That is insane. They won 2 of 3 against Michigan State, but Michigan State, same situation, 133 RPI. It's just the teams they play. Let's see. Their best win this year is their best win is Michigan with that 54 RPI. That's going to hold them back.
Okay, but they swept Michigan, right?
Yes.
Oregon won 2 out of 3 against Michigan.
Sure. That's fair. It's very fair.
Oregon has played the same teams that they played in the conference, with the exception of UCLA and USC.
Okay, so let's talk about this though. Okay, so again, Iowa can be ranked at the end of the season. That being said, they have the absolute worst ending to the season that you could ask for a team. So they have to go on the road to Washington this week, who has 81 RPI, sitting at 24-20. Washington's solid, though. They really are. I mean, they play everybody hard. Then they get Illinois, Chicago. Huh?
And Oregon lost the series to the worst team in the Big Ten, Ohio State.
Yeah, that one doesn't make sense to me. Which, by the way, Oregon, they're ranked number 10 in the country. Their RPI is 36 right now.
So why is Oregon ranked in the top 12 in both of them, 12th and 6th? Yet Iowa, who leads them in the Big Ten, is not ranked.
Just is what it is at this moment. But that can change. Okay, if you go on the road to Washington and let's say you sweep it or 2 or 3, that's going to help you. Illinois, Chicago is going to do nothing for you. But you close out with Oregon State at home, and then you have a neutral field game in Iowa City against Oregon to close out the season. So if you can win of that, if you can go 4-2 against Oregon State and Oregon, you're going to be ranked. No question about it. And then if you do good in the Big Ten tournament, you're gonna be fine. I think though the biggest problem for Iowa right now is, let's say that they slip up in this Washington or Oregon series. I mean, how many games are they in first place right now?
They got Oregon State will be a weekend off from the Big Ten. That'll get everybody closer to them. But in essence, they have a 2-game lead right now.
Okay. So the next 2 Big Ten series for them, if they slip, they could lose out on winning the regular season championship, which regular season championship doesn't matter because you get the bye through the conference tournament, which obviously they need a strong conference tournament performance. They've got the pitching to do it. They've got the bats to do it. If they can get it together, it's all good. But if they slip up, and let's say they win 2 or 3 against Washington but get swept by Oregon, they're looking at not even making the tournament with their RPI. But
as a Big Ten champion, or top 3 in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, because with a RPI of 70, which their RPI will go up, obviously, win or lose to close out. I mean, playing Oregon State and Oregon, that's going to make your RPI go up regardless. So, I mean, I'm not going to say they're going to go 9-0 in that span. If they were to go 9-0 in that span, they'd probably jump up to like the low 40s, high 30s. But I mean, I think with a good performance to close out the year, I say finish above 500. I'd go at least 5-4 in your last 9. I think you can be okay and possibly sneak in, but they've got to do something in the Big Ten tournament. They don't have a choice because they're not a lock at this moment. And that's unfortunate for them because they are a talented baseball team. Cade Obermuller, I mean, my God, that dude's electric. Love watching him pitch. But, yeah, I mean, and it's a shame. It really is.
I actually think Seedery is a better pitcher than Obermuller.
That's saying something right there. But he's good. He's very good. I watched him as well, and I was blown away. I mean, they've got a very good staff. Here's the SEC League standings after Week 7. You got Texas, Arkansas, and LSU are tied. Then you got Tennessee, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Alabama, Georgia, Auburn. It's crazy to me. After Auburn sweeps LSU, you think, man, this team's ready. And they just number 9 in the conference now. It shows anybody can be beat by anybody in the SEC. But this week, though, Auburn at Tennessee is going to be a very, very interesting series, to say the least. Then you got Oklahoma, Kentucky, Florida, A&M, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Missouri. There's some big matchups this week that's going to separate some teams. I mean, because
there's 2 teams currently in the SEC that were preseason top 5 that are very much in danger of not making the tournament.
Absolutely. So, by looking at these standings right here, who are your teams that you're predicting not to make the tournament?
From Florida down. Florida, A&M, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Missouri.
You don't think A&M's going to get in?
Look at the record.
You don't think they can win 5 more games?
I mean, they could, but look at that schedule.
Fair. Let me pull their schedule up actually real quick.
Their schedule's brutal.
Oh, I know it is. I mean, obviously you got LSU at home this week, and then gotta see who they close with. Off the top of my head, I just cannot remember. Save my life. No, it's not. They got a series at Missouri, but it's sandwiched between LSU and Georgia.
So think about that.
So
You get 3
we will
wins.
say this: they're at 11 wins at least.
That's it. That puts them at 11. Somehow you have to win a minimum of 2, preferably 3.
Yeah.
If they win 2 between Georgia and LSU, they're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's no easy task.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, especially now that LSU has found their 3rd starter. Thank God. But no, I mean, I was
12
in my head, I was so
12
sure
and
they were
18
going
is
to be
not getting
easily
you
in.
in. 12 and 18 is not getting you in.
So that makes me let me question you on something here. So let's see. Their best series wins on the road at Arkansas, on the road at Tennessee, and then that's really it. They played really bad baseball up to that point.
Here's a fun fact. No team that has ever finished 12 and 18 in the SEC has gotten in the tournament. Ever.
It's true.
It's not changing this year.
Because Vanderbilt got in with 11 wins back in the day?
No.
Yeah. They got in with either 11 or 12 wins back in after it was 2011-ish, I think.
No.
Yes.
No team from the SEC that has finished 12 and 18 has ever gotten in. 12 and 18 or worse has ever gotten in. No team.
Hold on. Because
the closest we came to a 12 and 18 team getting in was Alabama at 12 and 17 because they had a game canceled.
Okay, so it wasn't that year. Let's see. I'll just pull up Tim Corbin. That would be easier because I can pull up the record. There was a year that Vanderbilt got in with a very bad record.
13 and 17.
No, here it is. No, here it is. 2009, Vanderbilt got in with a 12 and 17 record in SEC play.
12 and 17. No team has ever gotten in at 12 and 18. Ever.
Because they played one less game. So the committee assumed they would have probably won that game they missed.
The same way with Alabama a couple of years ago.
I guess.
No 12 and 18 team has ever gotten in.
Interesting. But it is worth noting, though, that a 12-win team has made it, though. We can say that.
Yes, 2 of them.
Yeah, who was the other one?
Vanderbilt and Alabama.
Oh, so Alabama did have 12 that year. Okay. And it was because of one missed game.
One missed game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm, looking at this, though, I mean, obviously, Missouri, I don't see them getting a win at this point. I'm actually pulling for the 0-30. So here's what I'm pulling for, and it's not going to happen. I'm pulling for 0-30, but them to run through the SEC tournament and win it and get in by default. Be the first 0-win team to get into the tournament. That would be the funniest thing to ever happen in baseball.
So there's a couple things to watch here.
Mm-hmm.
So no team has ever lost every single series in the SEC since they went to 30 games.
Mm-hmm.
No team has ever gone winless in the SEC. Ever. So
that's crazy.
That's worth watching on Missouri.
Yep.
The other thing worth watching, in 2013, there was a team that was sitting at 19-2 that set the SEC record for best record ever since they went to the 30-game schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They set it at 26-3. And you wonder, well, 30 games, how'd they only play 29? They had a game canceled at South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They won the first two games of that series.
There you go.
So the record is 26-3. Texas is on pace to match the 26 wins or beat that record completely.
I will say this. If there is a time for Texas to get caught by somebody, it is right now.
I hope they lose too. I don't mind them tying the win mark. I don't want them to break our record.
It still blows my mind that their first year in the SEC. Yeah, their first year in the SEC, and they're going to do what they're doing this year. I'm absolutely amazed by it. I mean, they've won 20.
They did it in football too.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because it's like they were stuck in a limbo when they're in the Big 12, and then they come over to the SEC, and bam, they just explode, and which is great for them. It is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because Texas has 20 wins against SEC teams this year. 19 are official conference games. And, I mean, I'm just amazed by it. And in my head, I tell myself I wish that we could go back and replay that LSU Texas series because it was just so fun to watch. Because watching Texas they're just good. Like, are they beatable? Absolutely. But the biggest thing about them is it's like you can't get an autopilot against them because if you do, they're going to strike. And they can strike at any moment. They're just that good. They have the players. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on them. But I think the schedule for next week is next. Yes. As you can see, I got very lazy with my graphics this week because, honest to God truth, I just had no motivation to make them. Or not that, I just couldn't get focused to make them. So I made them very quickly this week. But you have Texas and Arkansas. You have Auburn, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi State. You have LSU, A&M, Bama, Vandy, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, Missouri, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. By God, Georgia is going to drop one in Missouri. Son of a... Chris, they're going to lose one in Missouri this weekend. Just remember I said that. It's going to happen. Because you've preached it for weeks. How long can you sustain with focusing heavily on your bullpen? This is going to be the week.
They're not going to get to their pen.
Dude, no, this is going to be the week where it happens. I don't know why. It's going to happen. I legitimately can feel it that it's going to happen. Crap.
So do you want me to do my picks?
Absolutely.
I think Arkansas steals one. Texas wins 2 out of 3.
Okay.
I'm taking Auburn 2 out of 3.
Okay.
There's a trend developing with Tennessee.
Well, hold on. Before you go to your next game, let me ask you. Liam Doyle versus Samuel Dutton. Another electric pitching matchup. The question is, does Doyle lose to Dutton this weekend?
I don't know who's going to win that Friday night game. But the trend for Tennessee on Sundays is not good.
Yeah, I didn't understand what they did the other day, to be honest with you. Like, I get it, but Coons is the guy they need to go with. He's the guy that's been doing it for them. if you're going to put AJ Russell in to start, extend him, let him go. Because, I mean, was LSU scoring on him? Yes, but it wasn't what happened after he left the game. Eventually, they got to let the leash go and let the man do his thing. Is if he's going to be your number 3 starter, let him do it. Because there's no reports that he was feeling any kind of discomfort or anything. So,
Okay, are you ready for this trend?
Yes.
Tennessee has lost 3 out of their last 4 series, and in those series have been outscored 79-62.
Wow.
And the deciding game 3 of those series,
Mm-hmm.
they've been outscored 45-20.
Wow.
Auburn wins the Sunday game.
Okay.
They take 2 out of 3.
Okay.
If tonight's action is any indication, I'm taking Mississippi State to pull an upset and win 2 out of 3 against Kentucky.
They're going to do it for their new interim coach. They love that guy. Dude's a heck of a pitching coach.
They went off tonight.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it makes sense. Did Western Kentucky end up pulling it out?
Pull down here to the SEC real quick.
Last I saw, they were 6-3.
Western Kentucky did win 6-4.
Okay. So Kentucky had a little bit of magic going on for a minute.
I'm going to take LSU wins 2 out of 3 against Texas A&M.
Okay.
I'm calling it. Vanderbilt sweeps Alabama.
I mean, the way that Bandy's been trending, that doesn't surprise me.
South Carolina takes 2 out of 3 against Florida. And I say that, yes, Florida's got a much better conference record, but recent trends, South Carolina has been a thorn in the side for Florida.
Yeah. Ooh,
Georgia.
LSU. Hey, LSU just jumped up to number 5 in the RPI, by the way. They were 9.
We dropped from 3-4 tonight by playing Indiana State.
Dang. See, we got lucky because Southeastern Louisiana had I want to say they were like number 37 RPI going into the game or something like that. Like it was a very good RPI because they're 32-12.
Georgia will sweep Missouri. They might not even make it to the 8th inning of any game.
Wow. I mean, I can see it. Robbie Burnett and Zaborowski. I mean, those dudes are beast.
And where is it at? Sorry. I'm going to go Oklahoma wins 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss.
I like that one. Before I give my picks, I was requested tonight to share my daughter's. So, by the way, Leah wants to start doing a joke of the week on our show where she pre-records a joke and I share it. So she asked me to share her joke this week. So let me do that real quick. Where do sheep go on vacation?
The sheep shed?
No, good one. No, the Bahamas.
Okay. That works.
It's going to sound really good when a 7-year-old is delivering these jokes.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, that is Leah's joke of the week. I told her I'll pay her $1 every week that she does it. All right, so my picks. Texas, Arkansas, it's going to happen this week. I'm taking Arkansas 2-3. I really think that Texas probably wins game 1 of that series, but I think that Arkansas is kind of at a point right now where they don't have a choice but to win. I think the Sunday situation for Texas is something they're going to have to work through. I think Arkansas at home, I think they're going to be able to pull that out. and it'll be Texas's first loss, series loss of the year. I'll put them at 4 losses in conference. Means there's no room for error for them at this point. Yes, shout out to you for that. But regardless, though, even at let's say like if a team like LSU won their next 9 games, I still think Texas wins the regular season. I don't think they're.
We
I
got a
don't think
5-game lead.
exactly like unless like something catastrophic just happens to Texas, I don't see them not winning the regular season crown. It has to happen at this point. Auburn, Tennessee. I think Tennessee's kind of frustrated after last weekend and really the last few weekends. I think that Tony is going to kind of adjust the lineup a little bit more. Like you saw tonight, like their lineup was all different, getting some other guys some at bats tonight, and obviously it was a tight game and bullpen game.
And they still struggled.
Yeah, they did. And which I mean, but to be fair, it's midweek. With them, they tend to struggle in a lot of midweeks. It is what it is, but I think they can get back on track this weekend. And the only reason I'm going to take Tennessee 2-3 is because it's not at Auburn. If it was at Auburn, I'd take Auburn in a sweep because something about the way Auburn's field is set up is weird. It's got curvature that shouldn't be there. It's just a weird field. I love the field. It's a beautiful field. It's just weird. It's hard for an outfielder to play. I would take Auburn there, but on the road, I think Sammy Dutton's going to give them hope, and I think they're going to actually win for the Friday night game. I think he's going to outduel Liam Doyle. I legitimately believe that. I just do not see them. Thank you, Kevin. I'm so glad someone recognized the joke, by the way. That means a lot.
He did.
I don't know. I think Tennessee's going to sneak it out. The Kentucky-Mississippi State series, look, I'm sold on this Kentucky team. I really am. I've been sold on them. I know you're not. You're the opposite effect of me. I think that Mississippi State is going to be playing hard for the team itself, but I think Kentucky's going to be too much for them. I think Cone wins their first game. Give me Kentucky 2-3. LSU A&M, that series sucks for me because as a fan, I want to say a sweep because obviously I have to. But on paper, I mean, this is 2 of the most talented lineups in the country facing off against each other. Texas A&M coming off a very disappointing weekend and a bunch of close games at Texas. College Station's not easy to play in. And I don't know how our guys are going to react to if they start throwing a lot of balls. Those chants, I'm telling you, it affects you.
Fair.
I'm going to say LSU 2-3, but this is one of the ones where I don't feel as confident as I normally do on. And I hope I'm absolutely wrong, and I hope LSU steamrolls them, but just being a realist. Vandy, Alabama, Alabama's got one of the best closers in the country. And starting pitching, the talent's there. They just hadn't figured it all the way out. Justin LeBron's good, but he can only do so much. And Nashville, though, is just – I just don't – if it were in Tuscaloosa, it'd be a different – I think I'd have a different pick. But I'm going to agree with – I think Vanderbilt's going to sweep them. Why not? Yes. Oh, my gosh. Please share for the worst college team the burger. Yes, please. I need to know that burger right now, actually.
Yes.
Florida, South Carolina, give me the Gators in the sweep. Boost up that resume of not really much. But still, I'm pulling for Nate. That's why I'm pulling for Florida in that series. Georgia, Missouri, like I said, this is the weekend. I think Missouri gets one. I think we're going to sneak it out. 2-3 for Georgia, but Missouri ends the losing streak. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, that series right there is freaking fantastic. I mean, I'm talking about that is just going to be some good baseball. I really think Ole Miss fans are going to travel extremely well for this because the weather will probably be fine up there.
They might, but Ole Miss does not play well on the road.
Exactly. Oh, no. I'm taking Oklahoma in a sweep, actually, in the series. I think Ole Miss, obviously, could win the series for sure. Oklahoma needs it more. If there was ever a time for Oklahoma to need a big, big moment for them, this weekend is it. You sweep a team like Ole Miss, you put yourself in a position to potentially host. Because right now, these last 3 weeks, you're going to see different kind of baseball played. You're going to see very strategic baseball played.
Mhm.
And right now, like teams like that, that's the series I like. Like for Alabama Vanderbilt, though, that's another series, the same situation. Tennessee Auburn, same thing. All those teams are playing for hosting spots because none of those teams are guaranteed a hosting spot by any means. So, Ole Miss, if they keep winning, they're going to host more than likely. Same with Oklahoma. But I think Oklahoma needs to win some. I know they're ranked higher than Ole Miss in polls, but I think Oklahoma needs some more statements to close out than Ole Miss does.
Fair.
But like a Vanderbilt, I think they need to stay consistent. They need to close the season consistent. Their biggest thing is they can't afford to lose any more series. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But in terms of locking in a top 16 seed, they need to win their last 3 series regardless. I'm not going to say they wouldn't host if they were to drop one, but they need it.
So there's also something bigger at play.
Mm-hmm.
They're currently 12-9, right?
Yes.
They need 5.
Absolutely, yeah. 17 gets you a pretty much guaranteed hosting spot.
If they get 5, I think they're a top 8 seed.
Interesting. Let me see.
That'll be 17 in the SEC.
Hold on. Let me do something then. Let me get to this right here. Let me look at something real quick. Okay, so teams to eliminate out of hosting contention for Vandy. I feel like to get into 17 would take Auburn out of hosting contention. You would take probably, or for a top 8 anyway. I think an Oregon State or an Oregon is one of the two is not going to be a top 8 seed, if not both. Clemson, North Carolina, Florida State. I think 2 of those will not be a top 8 seed. I think that actually of the 3, I don't even know who to pick. I could see Vanderbilt sneaking in there.
At
Baseball
17,
America, they're having West Virginia at 8. What the hell?
At 17 SEC wins, Vanderbilt would be a top 8 seed.
I could see.
Given their strength is.
What would their final record be though? If they were to get to that, should they win their midweeks as well?
We'd be right at 40. Well, we're 32 right now.
Okay.
So 5 wins would put us at 38.
With
and then 17 being SEC wins, plus we got the number 1 top 2 strength of schedule and the top 5 RPI. We would
because you've got one more midweek game left, and then you have probably a bye week for midweeks.
I'm not
for
sure.
your last weekend. I think so. I think that's how most teams are. Yeah, I can see it. All right, hold on. Let's do the Terry burger. So this burger is called the Show Me State Tiger Burger. By the way, that is a great name.
Nice name.
Get no bun, so is sliced marble rye bread toasted on the griddle. You really like your marble rye, I think. I'm starting to catch a trend there.
Where did he comment it at?
Oh yeah, go make it. All right, so be on the griddle, beef patty stuffed with provolone cheese, topped with cheesy corn on top of the beef patty. The cheesy corn is a good. Okay, so hold on, Terry. Question. Answer this for me in the chat. Have you eaten at walk-ons before? And that is a serious question because I'm going to have a follow-up to it. Because if you have, I need to know have you had their cheese grits? Because they changed their grits recipe. They used to have a corn grits that was really sweet and really good. Now they have a cheese grit instead. And they got rid of my damn Gator wrap. I love Gator wraps. It's my favorite thing at walk-ons. They don't have it anymore. But I could see it, the cheesy corn. Oh, Provol's a cheese? I just assumed you meant provolone. Never heard of Provel cheese. Oh, Terry, you got to try walk-ons. You would like it. It's really good. It's like Buffalo Wild Wings, but with like actually quality, like really good quality food too. I would say probably on College Sports page if I had to guess. So like yeah, Walk-Ons is like Buffalo Wild Wings, except they're not really known for wings. They're more of like a burger joint and sandwiches and wraps and stuff. It's very very similar, but very fresh ingredients, very tasty, very good food. I give them their props. But let's see, no fries because fries are for winners. They get regular Lay's potato chips and a Diet Coke. I like that. I mean, I would eat that. I don't know what Provel cheese is. I'm about to find that out, actually. I'm going to Google it now because I'm very curious. Provel cheese. Oh, it's the cheese for pizza. It's like the sliced cheese they put on pizza. Okay. I gotcha. So Terry, is that the cheese that like you see like some of these pizzerias make like pizzas, but they put like square pieces of cheese on it? Is that cheese? 'Cause that's what I'm thinking that is. Oh, I've seen those like foreign places doing the pizzas and they like squirt the cheese around like the crust and stuff. And I always thought it was mayonnaise for years, but okay. I gotcha. I mean, I would eat this. Oh, we don't need to do the dirty jock strap yet. Did it generate a good one this time? So, Chris, before we go to the dirty jock strap tonight, we have two topics to discuss. We got to talk about. I feel like I've earned my time to ramble about LSU for a little bit. I feel like I've more than deserved it. I've deserved it. At least a 3-minute spot on LSU tonight. I have held it back. I feel like I've earned it tonight after the series.
Wake me when you're done.
I know. And then we have to talk about the Mississippi State situation because that's very important. But first, I want to see this picture of this burger really badly. Oh my God. I mean, I would eat that. That is a cool looking burger, actually. I mean, it looks disgusting in a way, but I know it would taste good.
I'm posting that on Twitter, by the way.
Do it. Squadron clinched the 4th seed for our softball. Nice. How's your hamstring doing? Is it still holding up good? Because I was always every time I played like league softball, I'd always pull my hamstring. It was the worst. Dang, we got 94 people in here. That's awesome. Well, since we got 94, I'm gonna talk some LSU baseball because that's what everybody wants to hear. No, everybody wants to hear about it. So here's the thing: LSU Tennessee over the weekend was the most trash talk series. I mean, this trash talk started literally. Oh, my phone's listening to me again. I mean, on Twitter, everybody's going back and forth with each other between Tennessee LSU fans. Nothing but smack talk. Shout out NBA Tiger Boy because that's my favorite account on Twitter. The man knows what he's doing. Man, he's able to get in their heads so good. He plays it. He knows what he's doing. I love it. But no, game 1, Liam Doyle, Cade Anderson, absolute pitching duel. It's fantastic. Tennessee up 3-0. Going into the 9th inning, Jay Johnson had to make some tough decisions. You know, like who's he going to put into pitch to close it out? Because at this point, you don't want to waste any arms because you don't know, like, are we going to be able to pull it out or do we play to win the next 2 games? Like, that was a tough decision. Put Zach Cowan in on a limited pitch amount, which I was very happy about. 9th inning starts, 2 errors at third base. Derek Curiel gets the base hit to tie the game. Jared Jones comes up to the plate. The best part about this was after 1 o'clock in the morning, my wife had just gotten home from Seattle. She was asleep. I kind of woke her up a little bit and warned her when Jared Jones was coming to the plate. I said, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm about to celebrate a lot. It's about to happen. She was like, whatever. I jumped out of my bed screaming, literally. when Jared Jones hit that 452-foot home run over the batter's eye, dead center. It's a storybook. But Chris, I got to ask you, the umpire getting into Jared Jones, telling him to get moving. Why not let the man celebrate his victory and do his thing? The game's over. Let him have his moment. Don't interrupt it. I mean, what do you think about that?
I'm old school. Get around the bases and get it over with.
Oh, Jesus, come on. I thought he deserved every bit of that.
Go ahead and pimp the home run, look at the ump and say, it's over, and then get moving.
That's what he did. That's exactly what he did. But and after that and the teams were chirping back and forth each other all game. And then Saturday game comes, it was a tight game again, and then just changing and pitching. It was almost like a bullpen day essentially in that game, and one swing of the bat changed the outcome of that game, and Tennessee took it. It was just, it was a tight game. The score did not indicate how close the game actually was. It was literally like two swings of a bat made the difference. Sunday comes around. Saturday, Derek Curiel lost his on base streak. He'd reached base every game of the season except for Saturday. Comes in Sunday, goes 4 for 4 with a walk. Had first pitch of the day off A.J. Russell, hits a home run. It just kept trickling and trickling and trickling, and LSU walks off run rules when Luis Hernandez hits it off the wall. Everybody went crazy. Everybody on Twitter was going at it. It was hilarious to see. Tennessee fans were, saying, you shouldn't have won game one, blah, blah, blah. Well, Tennessee has I think they're number 14 in conference and fielding percentage this year. That's very alarming, by the way, because that team should not be like that. But it happens. I got to give a shout out to LSU and Jay Johnson, man.
The recipe is out.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
Play small ball against the Orange.
Exactly. And that is exactly what LSU did. But here's a kicker. So everybody talks about, they make the joke about Tennessee playing in a small ballpark. And LSU hit, what was it? It was either 7 or it was 9 home runs to their 1 the entire series. So I'm just saying, everybody has that joke about the small ballpark. They had a lot of fly balls in those games that would have left Lindsey Nelson. And I'm not even saying that in a funny way. It's just a fact.
It's not a small park. The difference is, and people don't understand this, it's the higher elevation and the ball flies better.
Sure. Well, another thing too, though, left field and right field are shorter at Lindsey Nelson than it is at Alex Box. But the thing is, I'm talking about Tennessee had probably 4 to 5 balls that were warning track shots to left and right field that would have gone over the wall at Tennessee. No question about it. But that said, proud of my Tigers. Tonight they walk-off run rule, Southeastern Louisiana 15-2. Ethan Fry hit a home run to do that. Love it. And so this weekend we go to A&M. Proud of them boys. That being said, the breaking news that took place yesterday, Chris Lemonis is out as the head coach at Mississippi State. Mississippi State has the best stadium. Let's see, next burger, since you get I like that. Okay. I can't read it in my head when I'm talking. I like it. That's a good idea. That's a very good one. All right. So Terry, I will inbox you the burger because we got it because it's genius. All right. So Chris Lemonis is out. A lot of people are like, why would you fire a national championship winning coach, middle of the season?
Should have done it 2 years ago.
It's true. Very true. One thing, and I know you've seen it, Chris, as well, is that Mississippi State fans are frustrated, and rightfully so. You have the nicest stadium in college baseball. You have a perfect place to play. I mean, recruits should be begging to come there. And it's not like they don't have talent. They have tons of talent there. I mean, it's one of the best places you can play in the country. It's one of the best jobs in the country. They made the decision to cut him. A lot of people were questioning it, but it wasn't Mississippi State fans that were questioning it. It was other fans of other teams that were questioning it. And I
national
get,
media.
yeah, and I get it. I do. But I also get it from Mississippi State's perspective. Think about it. You get rid of him now. You put your feelers out there before any other big schools have an opening. So you already got a step ahead because these guys have these coaches have agents and stuff. So I mean, it's not like you're calling the coach straight up, "Hey, here's my idea." I mean, yeah, a conversation will eventually happen, but there's different areas you got to work through to get to that. And I think it's genius. We both know who's more than likely going to be the next coach at Mississippi State.
While I think Josh Elander is the guy, it's very, very, very possible that their new head coach will be a done deal by this weekend, and they just can't announce it.
Well, so that's the thing too to think about. So they may announce it because you think about it. When Wes Johnson took the Georgia job, they announced it before regionals even started. They said he will be the next coach at Georgia, but he's going to coach at LSU to close the season.
There's a rule in college athletics that active coaches cannot have conversations with other teams during the season.
Does that include assistants?
I don't think it's going to be an assistant. If it's a done deal by the end of this weekend, it's going to be a sitting head coach in the SEC.
Who do you think is going to – you think it's going to be Mingione?
Mingione spent 7 years at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
If it's a done deal this weekend, remember where Kentucky plays this weekend.
True. That's very true. So let me ask you, if you're Kentucky right now, even without any rumors or anything like that, are you working behind the scenes right now to have a counteroffer in place ready to go just in case this happens?
They can't afford him.
So see that, and so that's my question though, is I really think that Mingione loves Lexington. The way he talks about it.
His wife is from Starkville. If that job is offered to him, he's gone.
But see, here's the thing you got to think about though. He's got young kids.
If that
He's
job
got young
is
kids though.
If that job is offered to him, he's gone. Book it.
I don't know. That one I'm in a question only because he's got kids that are at the age where they're developing like legit friendships with kids in their area. How he in his head, as much as he loves the community and he's embraced it and they've embraced him, I don't know if he could pull his family away from what they've established there.
To go back
now,
to his to go back to family, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, when you spend 7 years in a place as an assistant, I mean, that's saying something because obviously assistant coaches don't make a ton of money.
And his wife and all of her family is from there.
That helps. Happy wife, happy life. I mean, because that Mingione was the first person I said to people, and they're like, no. Jake McKeever, who worked with College Baseball Central, he went to Mississippi State. He said that Mingione it's not going to be him. That was his first thing he said. Now, I don't know if he has sources that tell him that or what, but we have sources that say things
that tell us who it is.
Yes, and we're not going to break who it is because it's not our news to break because we don't have 100% proof that it's going to happen.
Right.
But we know that the interest is there.
Yes.
We can say that. And obviously if you follow either of us on social media or any of our stuff, you would probably see where we've mentioned it multiple times.
We just happen to know that conversations have been had and this job specifically has been mentioned.
Yeah, and I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, think about it. I mean, it'd be hard to say no to that job. Now, I do find it funny all the people they're putting Tony Vitello in a Mississippi State uniform just wanting him in. So, man, Tony Vitello would never
Man.
leave Tennessee.
Could you imagine what he could do with that stadium?
Oh my gosh, it would be like a Savannah
Oh
Bananas
my
game.
God.
Like it would just be so packed out. It'd be insane. Like we would actually, you would see Hal finally emerge from under the rock or out of the basement wherever he's hiding, and he might become like Dwayne
He
Cole.
actually commented on my post today and was friendly to me.
What?
Yes.
He must be very happy that Lemonis was let go then.
He's calling another head coach into play.
Who?
Who was their pitching coach at Mississippi State for several years?
Who?
Butch Thompson.
Oh.
And
So
what
that
he's
was a
done
name
with,
that went in my head too.
and what he's done with that Auburn program.
See, the one thing I want to know about Butch is what kind of resources does he truly have at Auburn? He's got a good AD.
Well, he was a Cohen guy.
Yes.
Cohen hired him as a pitching coach, and Cohen is now the AD at Auburn.
Exactly. So
me personally,
I feel like going to state would be a lateral move, though.
Okay, but me personally, here's my concerns with that. So for the last several years, Mississippi State's had problems with pitching coaches and their pitching staff having injuries, arm injuries, every single year.
Well, to be fair, they finally have a good pitching coach. Their current pitching coach is fantastic.
Hear me out. What has Butch Thompson's biggest drawback at Auburn been?
What?
Every year, star pitcher goes down.
Except for this year.
Exactly. If you're a Mississippi State fan, would that concern you that he's got that history of arm issues coming into a program that has a history of arm issues? That would concern me.
I don't think Mississippi State fans think like that, though. I don't think a lot of fans think like that. They should. I just don't think they do.
That would concern me.
That being said, though, if there was ever anything you put on your resume, if I was Butch Thompson, I would just put a picture of Samuel Dutton on my resume. Because what has happened with that kid in one season is one of the greatest turnarounds I've ever seen in a career. Yep. But to be fair, I knew Dutton had the talent. It's just now he's really put it together and he's unstoppable. He's actually one of my favorite pitchers to watch, and it makes me so sad that he's not.
So, you know, when Connor was talking about he's got a weird throwing motion.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else has got a weird throwing motion?
Who dat?
This week's SEC pitcher of the week, Connor Fennell.
Sure, I was jokingly going to say surely not a Vanderbilt player. Now Fennell does have a very interesting throwing motion.
It's kind of halfway between a half and a 3/4, and I don't know how to explain it.
The way Connor throws is very cool to watch. He legit, his arm goes all the way back. So it's not like your normal like that. His is like straight up, like all the way. It's just cool to watch.
And it's coming from that weird angle too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think State though. I think they're in a good position. I think that I don't think there'll be an issue with they could probably get any coach they want, realistically. I mean, but look, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I will say it now, though, just so anyone that's watching knows. Tim Corbin, Jay Johnson, Tony Vitello, none of those three guys will be the next coach at Mississippi State. None of them.
Do you know who else flirts with every single job that gets up? There's an opening.
Yeah, Mr. Sully himself.
Do you think he's sitting back there saying, look, I have this 11,000 seat stadium that nobody goes to. I'd love to have that full 15,000 fans every night.
I actually think that if there was a job that would interest him, I think this is it. But I don't think the feeling's mutual with Mississippi State.
Probably not.
I don't think they want him personally. And that's not a knock at him or anything. I think they would see what Florida's done over the last few seasons, and I think
Struggle.
that would be alarming to them, because here's the thing. If you're hiring a coach that's already a sitting coach in the SEC, you want someone that's performing. Well, making it to Omaha is the goal, and that's great. But you want someone that can be consistent all year. And Florida has not had that consistency lately. And it's weird to say that, because it's hard to talk bad about a team that's consistently making it to Omaha.
Mhm.
And I don't, yeah. But look, so another coach, so I tell you, there are some coaches to keep an eye on. Wes Johnson is a name that's emerged as a candidate, even after just being at Georgia for a season. But he's emerged. That's a smart person to look into. I've heard Cliff Godwin's
Okay.
name brought up.
So, on Wes Johnson,
Mhm.
one of the big reasons he took the Georgia job was the investment in facilities.
Yes, absolutely.
If facilities are what matters to him, Mississippi State has to be at the top of the radar.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's a guy to monitor. Skip Johnson's been mentioned, but to be fair, he's mentioned when anytime there's a big opening
He
out
just
there.
signed
Like
he just signed a new deal last year, has a big buyout.
I about to say, I know he has a buyout, and that's the one thing too. That, like, does Mississippi State want to pay a buyout? I don't think they do. I mean, they could if he was their guy, they could. But
Mhm.
I don't think Skip would take this job. Jokingly, you could say Jim Schlossnagle, just because it's funny to say him going to another school, but he's retiring at Texas. I think this is his final stop.
He interviewed there when they hired Lem.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it did not go well.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let me pause for 1 minute.
This is awkward.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Leah just randomly walked out of her bedroom. She just got new bunk beds, and she has not left her room once in the middle of the night. She just randomly walked into the living room, just like, it was very, very weird to see. So, but anyways, and that definitely killed my train of thought.
You mentioned Cliff Godwin,
Yes.
ECU. He says he loves it at ECU,
Sure.
but all year he has complained about their lack of investment in NIL.
Sure.
And ECU becoming a feeder program for P4 schools.
Absolutely. And rightfully so. Another team or another coach, Sarloos from TCU, was a coach to look out for.
Okay.
Very up and coming, good coach. I've also heard what's Clemson's coach? Bakich, his last name?
Going there. Stop it.
No. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that I've heard people mention his name, but I have not seen that on a hot list yet.
I've seen.
I don't think
he's
going.
his name there too, but they don't understand. Eric Bakich got his start in coaching at Clemson. That's where he started. He's home.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, hey, another name you can take off the list. Paul Maneri, unfortunately, is not going to take the Mississippi State job.
Nope.
Mike Bianco's not taking it. Dave Van Horn's not taking it. Yeah. I really think that you're looking at Max Wiener, You're looking at Josh Elander. You're looking at Skylar Meade from Troy. That's another name to monitor in this search. You're looking at I'm just going to throw Kevin O'Sullivan's name in there because why not? Wes Johnson. We'll throw Mingione in there as well. But I think that's your core list right there.
Let me throw 2 more names in there.
Okay.
Chris Pollard.
Okay. I didn't think about that.
He's been at Duke for 13 years. They've made 6 NCAAs in the past 8 years. He got his master's at Mississippi State in 2004. There's a connection.
There is a connection. Interesting.
And then Mark Wasikowski at Oregon.
Okay.
When he took that job, they were an absolutely terrible baseball program.
Sure.
And since he's took it over, they are getting into the 4 straight NCAA tournaments and 2 straight super regionals. The guy can coach his ass off, and I think there might be some interest there.
Now, one thing to consider too, though, is when you're hiring a coach to come into a territory like that, recruiting wise, you have to have someone that can recruit the area. Now, obviously, Pacific Northwest, he can recruit. He can recruit the West Coast. I mean, I know you go nationally for your players, and with the NIL era, it's a little bit different. But one, why would you leave Nike money?
Right.
Like, I'm just saying, and I don't know. Maybe that's a good name. It really is. But yeah, I think that's a solid list. I don't really have any others to throw out there. Dang, I like it. That being said, so
I'm calling it now.
Who?
Christopher Cam Hamsley will be the next head coach at Mississippi State.
Dude, if that happened, well, first of all, my first thing would be I would send him a message and say, okay, I want my guaranteed box seat for every home game.
Right.
And then I would say, 2, we
get the
demand
interview.
we get the first interview, and we get to host your coach's show every week.
Boom.
That would be our only request. And a salary, and we would like it to be paid by the university as well, and so that we could quit our day jobs and this be our job.
Okay, I'm down.
Even though I love my job, but still. That being said, Chris, you are taking the lead on the Dirty Jockstrap. I am having nothing to do with the Dirty Jockstrap. This is all yours. You nominated it, and I just said, you know what? I'm going with this one because no one else said anything. So I was like, this is Chris's award this week.
I got to go back. So much has been said since I nominated him.
As long as you remember who it is. Hello, Cheyenne. I'm live on the air.
Okay.
Leah wanted to go to Lincoln's room.
How about
no, go to see her mom?
There's a team that currently has more steals, more stolen bases than any program in the country. But they're on a bad downward trend.
Yeah, hold on, how many steals do they have right now?
I think they're up to 176.
Jeez.
If I read that right earlier today.
That's amazing.
But I'm nominating VMI for the jockstrap.
Absolutely.
They've lost 6 straight games and have been outscored 57-21 in those 6 games. I hate to do it because they're so much fun to watch, but Virginia Military Institute, you are the Dirty Jockstrap winner this week.
Yes, they are. That being said, it's time for the Golden Broom Award. The award for the team that won their midweek and swept their series, voted on by the administrative team at College Baseball Smack. Find them on Facebook, College Baseball Smack. Presented by Chinook Seedery. Use promo code Golden Broom for 10% off your order. I highly suggest get the variety pack. What was that?
10.
Oh! I was like, what are you doing? I feel like I've gotten that read down finally. That being said, this week's winner
I
is
take
one of
great
Chris's
pride in giving this one.
favorite teams. Because first of all, let's just go ahead and say it right now. This award is a curse. There is no good that happens to this award. Teams that have won this award this year, let's talk about them real quick. Start out with Michigan. Michigan started out very hot, had a very good opening weekend of the season. They got our first Golden Broom. They crapped the bed. Another team you can talk about, Tennessee got the Golden Broom. They got it twice, and now they've lost 3 or 4 series. Vanderbilt got the Golden Broom, had a bad week after they got it. I mean, it's a curse, unfortunately. LSU got the Golden Broom. Guess what? They got screwed up, and they sucked it up after that. It happens. LSU's won a dirty sock this year already, and after this past weekend, you would think they'd never won one. Well, they have. That said, this week's Golden Broom Award winner is the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Last week, Vanderbilt did the impossible and swept Georgia. Well, this week we have yet another they have no chance situation where North Carolina State manhandled a red-hot number 2 in the country Clemson team at home. They won their games by the scores of 14-4, 8-3, and 4-1. And let me just tell you, none of these games were even close. Every single one was pure domination by NC State. Their bats were hot. Their pitching was just on fire. They could not be stopped. That being said, the curse struck again as NC State lost tonight to UNC Wilmington.
Couldn't happen to a better team.
If anyone knows, without us even having to tell the story, Chris absolutely hates NC State due to the COVID situation in Omaha. Yeah. So Chris hates NC State.
I mean, they tried to make us the villains in all that.
I mean, to be fair, we are on the Villains Media Network for a reason.
Yes, we are. And by the way, guess what while we're at it, we need to take a short break.
We do?
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Because we have obligations. If
We
you
do.
are ever in the South Carolina region and you decide you want to get your favorite team's logo tattooed on your shoulder or on your back or on your chest, wherever you want it, check out our guy Jimbo. He will hook you up. It doesn't matter what your team's logo is. I'm sure he can take care of you. If you're ever in the region, go give him a visit.
It's true. And if you need samples of his work, inbox Andrew Anderson. He'll send you pictures of everything he's got. He got a lot of tattoos.
He just got the Pac-Man squad tattooed on his arm.
Nice. Yeah, I know he had a bird, like a eerie, dark trees with a bird. I told him, I said, replace that dark bird and put a gamecock right there.
Right.
That would just be awesome. But yeah, definitely check out Jimbo. He does really good work, good line work. You got to respect it. So Chris, as we wind this thing down, which by the way, shout out to everybody. Look, 128 people in here right now. That means the world to us. We've been trying to get back to that 100 plus live mark. It's hard for us to get to that at this point, but much appreciated. Let's see where everybody's watching at currently. Oh, everybody's on my Twitter watching right now. Thank you. Much appreciated, my friends. Much appreciated. I did ask people to share it if they could, because I said, if you can't watch, at least share. Because I was sitting here, I was watching the LSU game while we were doing this, and let's see, I have a lot of notifications. Let's see, I got 1, 2. Hey, I got multiple shares of my show. Why not? People liking it and all that. Man, much appreciated, everybody. That genuinely means a lot. Which, by the way, Chris, you'll be proud of me. I officially hit 1.2 million impressions on Twitter. Finally, I've been waiting for that day.
Nice.
I had over 60,000 impressions today alone. I've learned a trick. You just comment on the most random things, and it gets a ton of views and likes and retweets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't comment on the only fangirl stuff, but comment on the other stuff. If you know on that one. You do know who I'm talking about, right?
I did share a picture today on my Facebook that said, if you know, you know.
Oh, by the way, Chris, you need to upload the video of your ice bucket challenge.
Hold on.
Oh, see, you're already there. Because I feel like the nomination needs to be made here.
I was waiting for you to ask me if I had any final thoughts.
Oh, hey, Chris, do you have any final thoughts this evening?
As a matter of fact, Cody, I do. Let's check it out. Stop it.
What's it doing mine?
So I'm honored that my grandson, Mason Keene, invited me for the USC Speaker Mind Challenge to raise awareness for mental health. As a 3-time survivor of attempted suicide, this is an issue that's deep within my heart. If you ever need help, please reach out to somebody. My inbox is always open. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, 988 is National Suicide Awareness Hotline. And with that, I'm ready. I'm nominating Randy Jowers, Cody Slavinsky, and my son, Tanner Keenhold, to be next.
I like it.
Sure.
So, Chris, I have to call you out on something. First of all, I would never in my mind do that challenge while wearing blue jeans. I do not like the feeling of wet blue jeans. I hate it so much.
I don't disagree, but I wasn't getting on the public thing in a pair of shorts. I just wasn't.
Touche. But no, now that I have been challenged on the show next week, I will air my video of it and do my social media share that night. I don't know who I'm going to nominate for it. That's the problem.
I think we should nominate our gracious host over at the Villains Media Network.
Oh, absolutely. That'll be one.
Andrew. We got
actually, I know exactly who I'm going to nominate for it. I got my 3 people. Now that I think about it, I do. Some people that get nominated might be someone that comes up with burger ideas for this show. You never know. But yeah, I got my 3 in my head now. Andrew's definitely one of them. But no, that'll be good. But no, I think it's a good message. I really like it. Because see, I honestly, when you first mentioned it to us before I saw the video, or before I clicked the video or whatever, I thought it was like the ALS challenge again. That's what I thought. I mean, it's the same principle, but
same concept, yeah.
But it's for a cause that we literally talk about every week on our show.
Yep.
So I like that. So I'm 100% going to do it. My kids are going to enjoy pouring the water on me. You could see when they're pouring the water on you, smiles on the faces. I like that. That's what I want. So yes. And with as hot as it's been down here in Alabama this week, more than happy to do it. Not going to complain about it. So yes, I will get it done and it will be aired on the show next week. Also, we will be airing Leah's joke of the week, who is my 7-year-old daughter, because she has officially been hired by me to be our joke teller. So I'm going to get some sports jokes, I think, maybe something like that. But she's got some of the cheesiest jokes, so they're funny. So, but yes, what are your other final thoughts this evening?
We're getting down to the nitty gritty. But I
Really
do have
are.
an idea. I do have an idea for our show.
Okay.
We do a lot of heavy focus on the SEC. Let's
Mm-hmm.
start looking at some mid majors and adding an ACC weekly schedule and a Big Ten weekly schedule.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a good idea. And honestly, if any of you that are watching, if you have any ideas of what you would like to see us, put on the show, tell us. We'll do it. One thing we talked about too is our scheduling of the show. Just looking at numbers off of what we used to get in our old schedule and what we get now, probably some changes coming too on that. Chris and I will have to meet to discuss it, and I think that'll be good. But that's one thing I agree on. And I think we need to definitely get the schedule going. I will say I know the schedule is going to be kind of skewed heading into like the conference tournament week because, as Chris knows, this will be SEC tournament number 30 for me this year. And
You're going live at the stadium. I don't care.
yeah, absolutely. No, that's what I'm saying. So I will definitely go live from the stadium, even though the internet is absolutely like your cell reception there is terrible.
That's
I'm
why
not
you bring
applying
Chris,
for credentials. So
that's why you bring Chris Joseph with you and have him bring a like a repeater or whatever to get a good cell signal.
actually, you know what? I do have a second cell phone that I have to use, and I could use it to go live with and use my phone as a hotspot. I'll do that. That's what I'll do. But either way, we will go live from the game. We'll do some live updates and just talk baseball while we're there. I think it'll be fun. It'd be fun to have Chris Joseph on too.
Guess what I get to do Sunday?
What?
I'm taking my grandson to his first ever college baseball game.
Oh, which game?
Alabama at Vanderbilt.
Nice. That'll be fun. So let's see. He'll get to meet the Whistler.
And he's an LSU fan.
Exactly. That makes it even better. I'm gonna have to hook him up with some LSU stuff. Actually, I got so many LSU autographs. It's not even funny. I'll have to send some in your special package I'm sending your way. Which, by the way, let me just give you an update on that. I still have not heard back from the hat people, and I'm very angry about it.
Okay.
It's been a month now since I've been talking to them about getting a hat made, and they have not gotten back to me. They got money, but they don't have the hat to me. So I don't know if they're swamped with orders or what's going on, but it's making me very angry.
Message him.
So I did.
Ask him what's going on.
I did. I messaged him like 5 times. I messaged him like twice last week, once this week, and 2 times a week before that. Ain't heard nothing. The messages haven't even been read. But to be fair, like I know that they have been like slammed. So I'm thinking that maybe I'm just in the queue and it's just waiting to go. That being said, I do need to get a bunch more of these hats made. Like I want to have at least 10 on hand so I can do some giveaways and stuff. Because when I go to Hoover Met, I want to give away some like Golden Broom stuff just to spread the word. So I need to get a new shirt made too, so I can wear it up there because I'm not going to wear it. Well, I will wear my LSU stuff, but the problem is the way the tournament's set up. If LSU finishes with a top 4 seed, they wouldn't even play till Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is just wide open. That sucks.
Oh,
it's an advantage.
My.
What?
Somebody just messaged me a picture and it gave me an idea.
Okay.
Preacher Franklin, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a grandson. Plays baseball at Maryville University.
Okay.
We may need to reach out and do an interview.
Let's do it. Honestly, we need to get Preacher on here eventually. That's something we've talked about doing for a long time now.
I may do that. I may be able to work something up.
I would hope so. But yeah, I'm down. I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right.
The more interviews, the better. I like to hear people's stories, hear where they come from. what their plans are.
Yep.
Which, by the way, shout out Connor Cantillo. If you have X, follow him at Cantillo Connor. That's his username, CANTILLOCONNOR. And check his videos out. He really puts in a lot of work, and he shares his content. Like, he doesn't share like his whole workout or whatever. He shares like just small clips of it. And very talented athlete, very good kid. I definitely look forward to following his career in the future. I need to get a signed baseball or something from him though. I'll have to work something out on that, because I like to collect autographs of everybody I've interviewed. Which I need to reach out to Connor Bowden as well and get one of him. But like everybody else that we've interviewed, I've got something signed by them. So, which, by the way, Chris, if you're wondering, one of the things that will be in your package will be a Ishmati autograph.
Nice.
Because I mean, rightfully so. Because that was our first like big interview we did. That was a special one to me. Which I need to contact him again, because I want to make a purchase from him and see if he will sell me something that I want. I want a signed jersey, and I want to see if he'll sell me one of his game used ones. I'd like to frame it and put it in my office at work. Actually, I was thinking about hitting up my autograph guy too about buying a William Schmidt signed jersey, because he did a signing with Schmidt recently, and he's selling the jerseys for pretty cheap. I may do that as well. I just want a collection of signed jerseys. That's my goal. No, I'm rambling, my friend. I keep forgetting we're still in the air. I keep thinking we're just talking. But no, final thoughts are this. Enjoy the weekend of games. 9 games left in the regular season. Conference tournaments coming up. Focus on some softball as well. Some good games coming up there. Season's coming up to an end for them as well. We're getting closer to football. Man, I can't wait. Transfer portal is wild. Vanderbilt's landing some like insanely good recruits, back-to-back days, getting good recruits, offensive lineman, defensive back. Man, I love sports. It's a good time. So, that being said, we'll see you next week. You guys have a good weekend, rest of your week. Enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Peace.
On the diamond.